organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up today on Daily Iowan TV, protests. Iowa City speaks out on Betsy DeVos's nomination. And minimum wage. Iowa sets the record straight.
We talk a huge loss for the women's basketball team.
And see if the men's team could extend their win streak.
All of that and more is coming your way. You're watching Daily Iowan TV. Good morning and thanks for tuning in to Daily Iowan TV. I'm Noah Goudie. Yesterday, a protest broke out on the Pennacrest after one of President Trump's cabinet members was appointed. Betsy DeVos is now the new education secretary after Vice President Mike Pence made history by splitting a 50-50 vote in favor of DeVos. Controversy has surrounded DeVos's nomination after many people felt that she was unqualified for the job. And later today, the protests will continue. From 12 to 1 on the Pennacrest, protesters will be gathering to protest President Trump's travel ban. The ban affects the visas of people from 7 countries that are a majority Muslim. The countries included in the ban are Syria, Iraq, Iran, Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, and Libya. We will have full coverage of the protests tomorrow at 8:30. Iowa legislators are considering making a law that would keep the current minimum wage set at $7.25. The bill would prevent ordinances that don't follow state and federal law from being passed. These ordinances include higher minimum wage, maternity leave, employment benefits, and hiring practices. Iowa's minimum wage has been $7.25 since 2008, while 29 states have increased their minimum wage. And this week, the weather has been up and down, and I don't know what to expect coming up. I'm joined now by Alexis Tansey in the weather studio. Alexis, what are we looking at for today and the rest of this weekend?
Yeah, Noah, well, it doesn't look like yesterday's cold weather will break today as temperatures this morning are barely reaching double digits. The high for today is 23 degrees, but at least the sun will shine for most of the day. By evening, temperatures are expected to remain in the low 20s with clouds in the sky. These clouds will stay for tomorrow morning as temperatures warm up to a high of 28 degrees. Now let's take a look at the rest of the week. Tomorrow evening, temperatures will rise to a high of 52 degrees and cloudy. The weather on Saturday will be similar with clouds in the sky and a high in the low 50s. Temperatures will drop to the mid-40s on Sunday with strong winds. The sun will come back out for Monday with a high in the upper 40s. On Tuesday, temperatures will drop to the mid-40s, and on Wednesday, the skies will remain mostly sunny with a high in the low 40s. I'm glad to see temperatures rising and the sun coming out in our area next week because that is not the case all over the country. Philadelphia declared a snow emergency for the days ahead as heavy snowfall and strong winds are expected to occur. As of yesterday, several schools have been closed and more than 2,400 flights scheduled to take off today were canceled in preparation of the storm. Maybe we can send some of our upcoming warm weather up to the Northeast so the snowstorm passes over them quickly. That's all I have here in the weather studio. Noah, back to you.
Dance Marathon 23 just wrapped up, but how long does the group wait to plan Dance Marathon 24? Daily Iowan TV reporter Chris Cervantes tells us more.
It's funny how this can quickly turn to this. It has been nearly a week since Dance Marathon 23, where the big event broke fundraising records and became known as the most successful year yet. Now, while Dance Marathon 23 may be complete, the work is not. Everyone is already keeping an eye on Dance Marathon 24.
So the turnaround is actually very quick from year to year. So once the executive director is chosen, we'll begin choosing our cabinet directors and then the directors beneath them, and then lastly our chair positions, and then that'll be our leadership team.
With most students focusing on the big event itself, few actually realize how much work goes into the year-long planning process.
We'll begin planning events as soon as possible here. There's still a lot that goes on during this school year. We do a lot of transitioning during this time of year. We like to plan now and early as possible. But yeah, it's a really quick turnaround, and things are going to be start rolling here for DM24 right around the corner.
And all this work means they need all the help they can get.
It's honestly one of the best experiences you'll ever have in your life. Whether or not you know somebody that has gone through cancer or even have an experience with cancer or not, it will be one of the best experiences of your life, no matter what.
Judging with how confident everyone is, it looks like Dance Marathon 24 will surpass Dance Marathon 23 in all aspects. Reporting from the Iowa Memorial Union, this is Chris Cervantes, Daily Iowan TV.
The Transcendental Meditation Group of Iowa City met for the first time on Tuesday night. The group's goal is to help reduce the stress of its participants through a series of specifically designed exercises. Sessions take place 4 days a week for an hour and a half. The instructor's first goal is to meet with each individual student that is a part of the program in order to learn personal information about them.
After 46 years of teaching, I still find it to be an extremely enjoyable activity. I love to see the effect that it has on the students that I teach.
I expect to get more focus, more presence, awareness, and basically allow me to do better in school, allow me to do better in pretty much everything that I do.
They use the information to help the students as they continue in the course. The instructors taught them about what the course is about, the different forms of meditation that there are, along with what to expect when coming to the class. And last night, I heard there were some exciting games going on for Hawkeye sports. Let's toss it over to Taylor and Colin in the sports studio to find out more.
Thanks, Noah. Yeah, definitely some crazy Hawkeye sports last night. We're talking about a bunch of Hawkeye sports today, but crazy basketball game last night, so.
Yeah, and it was definitely a late night for Hawk fans last night.
The Iowa men's basketball team looked to extend their win streak to 4 games last night as they traveled to Minnesota to play the Golden Gophers.
It was back and forth for most of the first half until Minnesota took control. And at the half, the Golden Gophers led 40-29. Isaiah Moss led the Hawks with 12 points at the break.
The Hawkeyes were not ready to go down easy, though. They went on a 14-0 run in the second half to force overtime with Minnesota.
Neither team could finish off their opponent and needed 2 overtimes to decide this one. Unfortunately for Iowa, they could not go shot for shot in the second overtime, falling to the Gophers 101-89. Peter Jock led the way once again, scoring 28 points, while Moss added 19 for the Hawkeyes.
Good to see Jock kind of get back in action there.
Exactly.
Now in women's basketball, every game down the stretch means something if they are going to make the NCAA tournament. And coming off a heartbreaking loss to Michigan on Sunday, they will have to regroup for the stretch run starting tonight against Michigan State.
The Hawkeyes sit at 14-9 on the season, while Michigan State is at 16-7. And a big injury to one of the Hawks' key players is going to make an already tough matchup even harder.
It's not unusual for teams to overcome key injuries to players, but sometimes it's not as easy as it seems.
The Iowa women's basketball team learned that their starting point guard, Tania Davis, is officially out for the season after tearing her ACL. Davis suffered the injury in last Sunday's matchup against the Michigan Wolverines.
I'm just really proud of the team and how they've came back, had a great practice on Monday. They're staying positive, they're believing, and they're handling this exactly how you'd want them to handle.
We talk about it as a team, but we all have our individual whys. You know, why do I play basketball? Well, you know, it's because of my teammates, it's because of my family, it's because I love the game, whatever the case may be. But we've talked about how this gives us, you know, a common why now, that we want to play for Tania, and we want to go out there and compete every single day, because it really could be the last time that you step out on the floor. And so we're definitely going to get after it. It's a big loss, but you know, Tania is staying positive, and I think that really helps our team kind of overcome that kind of initial shock.
I mean, now I'll have a different role, so that definitely impacts us, and just our whole team's really devastated for her. But we know that we can stay positive and still have a very successful end of the season, so that's what we're planning on doing.
Although the setback of losing Davis for the season is devastating, the team is staying positive and moving forward. The players believe each and every one of them need to step up their game. Iowa takes on Michigan State this Thursday at home. Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, this is Alyssa Odell, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Losing Tania Davis is certainly a big loss for the Hawkeyes. It will be interesting to see how they adapt to playing without her as the season winds down.
Definitely. The Iowa wrestling team has not had quite the season they had hoped for either, with 2 regular season losses, but they are still in good shape with 2 key matchups this weekend, and they're hoping to send those seniors off on a good note.
After defeating Wisconsin and Minnesota, Iowa's wrestling team is looking forward to capitalize from this momentum as they take on Indiana this Friday and Nebraska this Sunday, senior night, where 5 seniors are looking forward to making their last time in Carver one to remember.
It's a good send-off for them. Fans get to see them. It's important, but there is still a lot of wrestling left in the season. And all that being said, these guys have done a lot of winning.
All that when you have a group of these 5 guys. I mean, like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm the only senior that's not on there right now, so that's a little bit of motivation to put a fire under, you know.
I mean, the last however many times we wrestled, it's been very lopsided in my favor. You know, I got to be ready, but if I'm ready to go, then it'll be lopsided again.
Wrestling in Carver is something that not many people get to do, and it's freaking awesome. So I'll cherish it and have a ton of gratitude in this and that, but I still want to freaking win.
Coming into this weekend, senior Thomas Gilman looks to remain undefeated as the team as a whole looks to expand their winning streak. Reporting inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, this is Charles Boyd, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
You can catch the Hawkeyes close out their regular season this Sunday at Carver at 2 p.m. as they host Nebraska on Senior Day.
Track athlete O'Shea Wilson has been making the comeback of a lifetime with his return this season. After a long 2.5 years out with injury, Taylor Cassian has more.
Hawkeye track runner O'Shea Wilson looks to bounce back after a big injury last season. Let's check in and look how he's doing so far. Wilson is currently number 3 in the nation and number 1 in the Big Ten for long jump.
My expectations is for the team mainly to win the Big Ten title, indoor, outdoor. That's what we've been focused on since my freshman year, and that's really our main goal. But my main goal is just to stay healthy throughout the year and just perform to the best of my ability.
He made his season debut at the Hawkeye Invitational, where he stunned with a personal best and collegiate leading jump of 7.86 meters. Wilson was excited to say the least, as this was his first jump in 2.5 years.
2 weeks ago, I was not expecting a PR by like 1.5 foot, and I was really excited. I was speechless after that.
Wilson owes his current success to mental strength when getting over his injury.
Stay mentally strong. There was times I was depressed because I wasn't training or running. All my friends go to meets. I'd have to stay strong for myself, and of course, rehab and stuff and cheer on my teammates, but basically to stay mentally strong.
He looks to hold on to that number 1 Big Ten title moving on with the rest of the season. Reporting from inside the indoor track, this has been Taylor Cassian, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Wilson and the team will split this weekend as they travel to both Iowa State and Arkansas for their invitationals, where they aim to bring back home more great times.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow for another edition of our Courtside Show, where we'll be previewing the men's matchup as they travel to Michigan State Saturday at 5 p.m.
And that's all we have for you in the sports studio. Noah, back to you.
Thanks, guys. The Iowa Senate State Government Committee voted on a bill on Wednesday to make fireworks legal to sell and use. The Senate voted in favor of the bill 11-3. The details of the bill are still being finalized, but residents can use fireworks between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. from June 24th to July 6th and December 24th to January 3rd. And that's it for this edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check out our live shows every morning at 8:30 a.m. on dailyiowan.com. Also, be sure to pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan to find out all the latest news. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, and have a great day, Iowa City.